Coming to you live from the Tino Studios in Minooka, Illinois. I'm your host, Bucky Shanks, and this is Tino Tonight. Welcome everybody to the Final Four edition of Tino Tonight. The season is winding down. If you had Oklahoma, Kansas, Wisconsin, and Oregon in the Final Four on your brackets, you are looking good. 46 teams are currently in their off-season programs getting lined up for the 2020 season. Sites will be set on December 26th as the commissioner Tuss Allen Emmer has expressed this date to be important. Payouts will be put up for vote. Also, the winter meetings kick off with potential rule changes for the 2020 season. Trading will also be reopened in the next week. We look ahead to the off-season article from Michael Tussiano as we see all the award winners, all-American teams, and all-freshman teams. And I also know Vanderbilt will have something special for us as well. Oh, wait! Also, last order of business before we get started, as Tuss Allen Emmert said, everyone that spent the last year with us is now a part of the Tino family, and we hope you guys enjoyed yourselves and most importantly, had some fun. We hope everyone comes back next year and every year after, but we understand things come up, life happens, and difficult decisions need to be made. If you do know that you will not be back in the 2020 season, please let the commission know ASAP so we can get a jump on filling your team. We did our best to make this league different from any league that any of us have ever seen before. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the videos and articles this season. These videos take a lot of time and effort to make, but if the league enjoyed them, then I will get with the higher-ups at Tino to discuss a potential contract extension for next year and beyond. Please feel free to reach out with any feedback, good or bad, with Tino Tonight. If there's something you want to see on the program, let us know. If there's something you don't want to see on the program, let us know. Now with that out of the way, let's find out who's going to this year's national championship. We start with the 5th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers and number 1-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Have you ever had one of those bad dreams and woke up in a cold sweat like, oh, thank God that wasn't real? Well, for Wisconsin head coach Matt Brostowitz, that is the feeling, except it is real. Recent rumors are swirling that during the most important week of Wisconsin's season, Coach Brostowitz was missing from practice. Tino MZ reporter Tom Tussincero spotted the Badgers leader vacationing in Hawaii while also applying to become the inaugural commissioner of a new baseball league called MLB Legends. Hopefully the head coach enjoyed himself and lands a new gig because he cost himself a berth in a national title in this one by neglecting the team and failing to set his lineup. He left not one, not two, but 3 inactive players in the starting lineup. Defensive end Jadeveon Clowney, recently released cornerback Janoris Jenkins, and cornerback Desmond King. It's always easy to play the coulda, woulda, shoulda game, but in this case, he actually woulda won just by replacing the inactive players. He only had 2 options to put in at cornerback, totaling 60 points. As for defensive end and moving somebody in for Clowney, his lowest point getter at defensive end was 12 points, leaving a possible 72 points out of the lineup. This is devastating when you realize that you lost by 70! The Sooners would go on to win 1090 to 1020. Even with the 3 missing players on defense, this game still came down to Monday night. The Badgers finally got something out of 2019 bust Kenny Clark as he erupted for 93.5 points. Carlos Dunlap and A.J. Brown round up the top point getters for Wisconsin. For Oklahoma, they did what was needed to advance. In this case, they dodged a bullet and got pretty lucky in all honesty. It is, however, always good when you go into a game needing points and have Drew Brees still to go. He did not disappoint, completing a ridiculous 29 of 30 passes for 307 yards and 4 touchdowns. The 4 touchdowns setting the NFL record for most TDs in NFL history. And that history over there is not a short history. Tre'Davious White chipped in with 2 interceptions on his way to 71.5 points. Last but certainly not least is do-it-all running back Christian McCaffrey with yet another well-rounded game, racking up 87 yards on the ground to go with 2 rushing touchdowns, also chipping in with 8 catches for 88 yards. This will go down as one of the great blunders in Tino NCAA history for the Badgers. It will be interesting to see if the athletic director at Wisconsin makes a move at head coach this offseason. A season that ends with an 11-4 record overall, going 8-2 in the Big Ten, also going 6-2 versus the top 25 and 1-1 versus the top 10 and top 5. For Oklahoma, it's on to the national championship as they will take on the winner of the Kansas-Oregon game. Just who will it be moving on to take on the top-ranked Sooners? the 6th ranked Kansas Jayhawks or the 2nd ranked Oregon Ducks. This one started out as an upset that not many saw coming outside of Lawrence or the recording studio, as Kansas jumped out to about a 200-point lead for a good portion of Sunday. The Jayhawk defense was making big plays left and right. Oregon Ducks head coach Jack Lang offered his congrats to Kansas about 17 different times throughout the day. Surely Kansas had this wrapped up, right? Not exactly. After the 3 p.m. games, everything went the complete other direction for Tyler and DJ Khaled. The Bills-Steelers Sunday night game, Kansas had Cole Beasley, Javon Hargrave, Bud Dupree, TJ Watt, and Joe Hayden combined for 91 points. TJ Watt had 51 of those. For Oregon, they had John Brown go for 36, Shaq Lawson go for 57, Tremaine Edmonds go for 34, Matt Milano go for 27, Tre'Davious White go for 71, and Terrell Edmonds go for 49, giving the Ducks 274 points and gaining 182 back going into Monday night. The Jayhawks had Jack Doyle, Anthony Walker, and Marshawn Lattimore left to go versus the Ducks' Darius Leonard. Kansas was only able to get 48 points out of those three to Darius Leonard's 39. Figure it out, Bucky. Add all that up, and you get a 967.50 to 966.40 win for Oregon. The 1.10 point win is the 3rd closest victory in Tino history. It's only about a year worth of history, but history nonetheless. You have to go back to week 2 for a closer victory when Kansas beat Arkansas by 1 point. The 967 points is the lowest total for Oregon since week 2. Michael Tussiano reported that Oregon head coach Jack Lang benched linebacker TJ Watt for this game for reasons unknown. His 51 points that were missing from the lineup almost cost him a trip to the national championship. Kansas had 10 players score under 10 points and got next to nothing from 4 of the 5 players on Sunday night. They will be thinking about this one for a long time. For Kansas, they just missed making it an all Big 12 national championship. They end the year 11-4 overall, going 7-3 in the Big 12, and they went 4-3 versus the top 25, 2-3 versus the top 10, and 1-3 versus the top 5. For Oregon, it's on to the national championship where they will face Ken Galan's top-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. With the national championship game set with Oklahoma and Oregon, it turns out that both these teams are human and both these teams can be beat. Oklahoma was a head coaching blunder away from being sent home in the Final Four. Oregon got literally everything it needed in the Sunday and Monday night games to escape with a 1-point victory while leaving the number 2 scoring linebacker in the league benched. Still have no idea how you bench TJ Watt. Nonetheless, that'll do it for all of us here at Tino Studios in Buckingham Palace. I'm your host, Bucky Shanks. Good night, everybody.